Hi, this is Mike Rogers, Rogers the Channel. We'll be doing another upload soon, but in the meantime, here are my Australian cousins, the 3 or 4 M's, doing a nice commentary on Flash Gordon. This is a classic. I thought it deserved a re-upload, so listen to the boys when they tell you. Watch along. This is a 1980 Flash Gordon movie, audio commentary, so get your disc in place and listen to my Australian buddies talk about the movie. Cheers, and drop a like and whatever, but listen on. Thanks, boys. Take it away, the Australian M's. Bye.
Commentaries for the 1981 Flash Gordon. If you're watching, the Universal logo is just coming up, and we are about to do one of our most challenging commentaries for, let us say, one of the most interesting versions of a science fiction film, Mike Hodges' Flash Gordon. Or
probably one of the most...
Dino de Dum Dum, as it used to be called. Dino de Dum Dum's Flash
Probably
Gordon.
one of the most misunderstood and, I suppose, unjustly reviled films, because people often miss the point of Flash Gordon, I think, to a certain extent.
I think Dino certainly missed the point of it.
Well, not really. I mean,
I don't think Dino understood the sort of film that Mike was making.
No,
Well, if you look at that start there, where that is a comic strip target thing on the Earth,
Yes.
this is a comic book film.
yes.
So
That's right.
for people who went expecting, Madame Butterfly or something.
Or wanted to see Star Wars again.
I think Dino knew exactly what sort of film he wanted to make. I mean, Mike really didn't have a lot of control in this film over the things that were happening. He used to turn up on set each day and just make it up as he went along, basically, and he said as much himself. Dino knew exactly what sort of film he wanted. He wanted a big, colourful, bold, comic book-looking film, and certainly Flash Gordon 1981 fits the bill perfectly.
Although the way I think Mike tells it, I mean, Dino was a bit puzzled as to why people were laughing during the dailies for this film. So he was imagining in his own mind more of a serious film, but none of the other people involved in this film had any doubts, I think, about what sort of film they were making.
Okay, can I say that a lot of people say this film is camp, and I'm going to say now it's not camp, it's operatic.
Okay.
And the idea George Lucas had in Star Wars was that the film just started, no credits, he was straight into the story. And Flash Gordon has gone the total opposite, where like in an opera, every character's name and the role is put on screen one after the other, and it is an opera with the great inserts from the comic book. And some people have said this was the best part of the film because you saw the comic book,
Yep.
which was a lot better than the film.
It's very similar to what the Marvel movies are doing now.
Yes.
X-Men and those films, they all start with this same sort of opening, so where they flash through the comic book. And when you look at it like X-Men 3, they actually picked the comic book that the story is about, which is what we just had then. These are actually scenes from the film told in comic book form.
I mean, it really shows. I mean, these are definitely photos from the original comic books, and it really shows to me just how well they did capture the look and spirit and feel of the
Unfortunately,
comics.
the sword fight never happened. And I know a lot of people did wait for that at the end, and apart from picking one up and waving it in Ming's general direction, that didn't happen.
Maybe that was going to be in the sequel.
And who better to do the operatic score for this film than Queen?
My
Yes.
word.
By the way, yes, if you're hearing this commentary, you haven't got the music up loud enough.
You should turn it up, because
As I was saying,
if there wasn't a more perfect score ever done for a film like this, then I'd like to know about it, because Queen, I think, captured the essence of this film wonderfully.
Very much so. I mean, just the lyrics, Flash, Saviour of the universe, always like King of the Impossible. I mean, that I think it sets the tone perfectly for the film. I mean, can you imagine a song starting off The Empire Strikes Back with Luke, King of the
I
Impossible?
mean, I will make a big call and say that if you said Flash Gordon to someone, to anyone on the street, the first thing they will think of will be the music.
who is this strange man talking to me? Now, when I saw this at the movies, every kid in the movie was reading those buttons out.
Yes.
Heart, no enthusiasm.
I can only assume they're talking about some sort of acidic hail, because otherwise I don't really
Isn't
understand.
it funny that
what hail is?
Ming is trying to destroy the Earth with footage from old disaster films.
That's right. He's doing some cleanup.
And when
demolition
I
work
saw
for
this
them
at the
as well.
movies, right now, where he puts down the paper, the whole audience cheered. And I think Flash Gordon was one of the last films where it was that kind of movie-going experience. We didn't know anything about Flash yet. And as soon as they saw him, they cheered and they enjoyed the film, even if it wasn't, very dark or anything like
Well, he
that.
certainly looks the part, old Sam J. Jones.
Yes, he does look the part, but it ends about there.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's a blonde Han Solo, which
Would
is
have
really
been
what
better
you're
if it was a
looking for.
silent film, perhaps.
Well, he's not the world's best actor, but
No,
he's certainly
that's true.
not the world's worst. I mean, he does.
I think he goes to the meetings, though. Now, wouldn't this have been better if the window had gone up? Wouldn't that have been a bit more suggestive? Look at that. I know we're just coming in then, those windows.
Yes,
so to speak,
he always
yes,
winds
yes.
down his window before he gets out and leaves his car.
Well, when I was a kid, I didn't know what was going on here. I didn't know there were these little airfields. It looked to me he was sitting in his car. He saw this good-looking chick get on a plane, so he just got out of his car and jumped on the plane.
Oh, we missed. There he is. Hey,
There's Robbie Coltrane with
There
the
he is.
mullet.
Yes.
Walter PPK. Only 5 people I know use that weapon.
Yeah, I believe he
Flash
was going to
Gordon.
say that. He was going to say that in this film, but they cut it. Now,
They
who's
cut it
that
out?
guy?
Oh no, he's gone now.
Could be Sarah Michelle
And I
Gellar's
didn't know
dad.
why he. Oh, very good. I didn't know why he had the shirt on, because does this mean he was already famous?
Well, I guess he is. He's a famous footballer.
Oh, I
eh?
didn't know. And then the magazine cover, he's on the magazine cover. Now, when the film came out, Sam Jones was everywhere wearing that shirt, and every magazine had his face on the cover.
always-
So I was ashamed to admit that in a Flash Gordon film, I was a little bit confused.
It's reassuring to know that the pilots are reading People magazine as they're flying this aeroplane.
Yes.
for us.
Yes, and saying things like "Holy cow."
But well, when I see Flash Gordon, I always think he's got a bit of Warwick Capper about him, as presented in the Late Show. You know, I think he's got
There's
his
a bit of an Aussie reference for you there.
He's got his name on his shirt, so he doesn't get up in the morning and put his girlfriend's shirt on by mistake.
Well, I didn't know why he
If
had.
he does, he gets to the wrong name.
You got to really hate your kids to call them Buzz. And everyone in the audience laughed at that too, because they knew it was a corny world like you have in comic books. It was
Yes.
all
Yeah.
deliberate.
Well, I thought up to this stage, him being a footballer, maybe Flash wasn't his real name. Maybe it was like his stage name. But then if you've got a kid called Buzz,
Yes.
Because
Well,
he even says later, my name is Flash.
my name is
Yes.
Flash, and she says, "I know, I saw it on your T-shirt."
hey, thanks, mate, I can read.
Because I heard Christopher Reeve once. He said, talking about the first Superman film, Christopher Reeve said the world of Krypton is as mythical as the world in Smallville. That is, it doesn't look, but it's just as much a fantasy, and the whole world of a comic is fake. Now, Sam Jones' voice is dubbed, of course.
Yes, yes. It's not quite as bad as dubbing Mel Gibson in Mad Max or dubbing.
Well, they made the Lone Ranger round now, and they dubbed him as well.
Yeah, that's
Really
right.
show a lot of confidence in your lead actor when you
Or
dub his
dubbing
voice.
Schwarzenegger
voice.
in Hercules in New York. I mean, it hasn't actually come back to bite him in the same sort of way.
I'm taking flying lessons. You don't hear that a lot anymore.
No, that's right.
Taking flying.
That becomes
and then he gives her a
important for
lecture on air pressure. See, that's very stagey. That's not meant to be.
It's a nice tank effect there. I mean, some of the special effects in this film, just so we say, reflect the era in which the film was made.
And they're also meant to reflect the year in which the original serials were made.
Yes.
Now we're getting into a bit of a confusing part of the story here.
What, would they suddenly introduce these all these characters, basically?
Well, Hans.
First, we
Hans
have
Zarkov.
William Hootkins, who, if you remember, getting shot in Flash Gordon. In Star Wars, his fighter gets shot down, and he's in all these films.
Oh, this is Porkins, is it?
That's Porkins,
Oh, wow.
also famous for vomiting in Blackadder and saying "Great boozer."
Yeah.
and got shot by the Joker in Batman.
Of course.
Oh, okay, he's the cop.
Yeah, he was the
Oh,
cop.
I didn't
yeah.
know that either.
His,
My God.
T'Pol. I love that framing with the flag. Although I wonder why has he got an American flag in his
Now,
laboratory?
here's T'Pol. He's a man who has no hesitation about what sort of film he's in.
Yes,
This is probably just before he appeared in James Bond, I think.
the same year. And
Hmm.
he talks about them both with a certain amount of affection, probably because he didn't have to go dum about 68 times. And of course, what a clever update. Dr. Zarkov used to work for NASA. It's a
Yes,
nice
that's
update.
right. He's a man who's barking mad. We got kicked him out, but we're taking his calls anyway.
And
So this is setting up the threat of the film. I've never really actually.
yes.
So what is the threat? Is the moon going to hit
Ming
the
is
Earth?
going to cause the moon to crash down onto the Earth, and there have been all sorts of stories about the reasons for invading the Earth, but because the guy's bored, is kind of a new one. It's like when Marvin the Martian wanted to blow up the Earth because it blocked his view of Venus.
Well, he's basically just testing our intelligence, you know.
Oh, he says that later.
If we all fall on the ground and start praising God or something, then it's all right. We're not worried. But if we hop in a spaceship, fly up to him, ask him what he's doing, well, then we all deserve to die.
Well, it sets up quite well that even before we see Ming the Merciless for the first time in the flesh, that we know he's a very callous, evil, and just a horribly nasty man.
Yes.
So
Not a good chap.
Yes,
No.
because you saw him
Now,
flexing his
I'm
glove.
going to suggest that
Yes.
at this point the film is losing a tiny little bit of credibility when these guys have built this rocket, just the two of them, in his backyard.
It's a bit of Wallace and Gromit, isn't it?
Considering they can't even afford a cleaner, I don't know how they quite managed to swing that.
But then that's an old sci-fi standard, isn't it? I mean, the time machine in your basement, the guy.
Yes,
who,
but they were all written
bends time
before
and
we
space
actually did send rockets into space.
in the
So
backyard.
This bit was the kind of thing a lot of people just wouldn't accept. And if you took it in its stride, it was okay, because when Zarkov builds a rocket in his backyard in the comics in the 30s, well, we could accept that. But
Yeah, well, this story is telling the same story that, from what I gather, that the 1936 serial told.
It does, pretty...
With a bit more
pretty
sex.
close to what the original is, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in that one, I think it's Mongo that's going to crash into the Earth, not the Moon. But it's the same thing about, Ming wants to get hold of Dale. He falls in love with her. Meanwhile, Aura is falling in love with Flash, and
Baron's in love with Aura.
Aura.
And Flash is in love with his shirt. And Zarkov just keeps fiddling with the computers, because he's the
That's right.
smart guy. They don't have feelings.
So that works well in 1936, but I think, post the moon landings, you do have to struggle a bit with
That was a
with the
bit I
concept.
remember a few people said, what is that thing? What is that piece of art there that they keep looking at? And so now Flash has got to land the plane. Lucky he took flying lessons.
Yes, he's I don't know, it's another post 9/11 terrorist thing. I want to learn how to fly, but I don't need to land it or take
Lucky
off.
the pilot. Lucky the pilot.
Give him my break. He hasn't got that far in the lessons.
All I need to
Poor
do
old
is just
Flash.
fly it into a building. She's right, mate.
I'm only learning how to take the plane off. I do not want to know how to land.
Is it all right if I pay with cash?
What's with the... hello? I'm in another movie now.
I mean, like we said before, he knows exactly what sort of
Yes.
film he's in. It's absolutely a wonderful sense of comic timing.
Oh, it's
throughout the
fantastic. I
entire
remember
film.
when
Yeah.
I saw this when I was a kid. That's what I came away with. Was how fantastic I thought Topol was.
Topol.
Yeah.
He's probably pretty much the best thing in the entire film.
Oh, no, I have my own favourite too.
Oh, this yes.
Two, actually.
Oh, that's right.
Well, there's probably about 5 or 6 characters you remember with great affection. Now, he dies here. The plane crashes on the guy and he dies. Isn't that a little bit grim?
I've never noticed that. No.
Well, what do you think happened to him? He went
I
to
just thought he just
Mandeville.
kept
Putting him
running.
on the
That's what I'd have
plane,
done.
yeah.
He went to
look at that.
Mandeville.
He's gone underneath.
You could even see the blood on the ground later.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is, I think, is Flash's worst line. Let's get out of here before she blows. Straight out of some
another
5-minute
single
cartoon.
entendre?
This was around the time I remember my parents said, we're going to bed. This was enough for them.
And of course, most planes have that little escape hatch built into
Yes.
the roof. You know,
And
Yes,
this is
that's
the
right.
great, your car breaks down and you go to the
She's
local,
all over him.
the local house with the lightning, and the butler opens the door and all the phone lines are down.
yes, it doesn't take poor Dale very long to go from a very strong, resourceful woman to a woman that just jumps into Flash's arms and says, "Oh my God,
but
save me, save me!"
But it's Flash.
So old Hans
She grabs
Zarkov.
Zarkov later.
Did Zarkov get kicked out of NASA because his science was dodgy, or was the homicidal
No,
mania part
because
of it
they
as well?
didn't.
Probably a good mixture of both. I'd say.
Well, Zarkov has the mentality that with the stakes that there are, I mean, he must do this. And yes, the guy, I suppose, is a bit of a loon.
Well, he's able to convince these people to walk into that toilet and say there's a phone.
Oh, that's
in
because
there.
it's the phone. You don't say, it really looks like a spacecraft
This
to
is
me.
my kiosk.
And it's pretty easy to take off this ship too. It's fairly simple. You don't need
Yes.
Ed Harris or anybody on the ground.
No.
Right, once you put your feet on the red pedals,
Yep.
Yeah, that I couldn't believe that. either. Couldn't you just put a brick on it or something?
that's right. Or couldn't you have the pedals around where you sit?
And Dale watches a lot. Dale watches a lot of TV. Have you noticed that? All right,
Ooh.
we're taking off without any sort of ground crew or anything.
Yes, you Flash. I guess your name is.
Bit of TARDIS going on here too. Bit of
Yeah,
TARDIS.
that's right. It looks
Now, why do you think he keeps the girl?
This
hey?
looks a bit like Mentalis.
I need one person, preferably a female.
Well, it
That's
gets,
right.
it
One
gets very
person.
lonely in space.
It would
Well, it will
would
be.
more logical to have a strong man who could help me out, but
I can think of
I'll
two
keep
reasons
the
to have her
girl.
here, and I can only think of one to have you. So
Well, I think I'll be running along now.
Nice to meet you,
And this
Dale.
this is out of the comics too. The idea the rocket starts by accident, basically.
Yeah, that's
They
right.
get-
It's ram your
like
head
the Three
against
Stooges.
don't close the door.
it's a big red button.
Yes. Very Three Stooges.
Just has to be pressed.
I think in the old sci-fi, I think only about 3 rockets took off because they were supposed to back then. It's always an accident.
Yeah, that's right.
Even Dr. Smith. Here we go.
Oh, it took off because it was supposed to.
Now, why are there alarms? Because if it's just them operating, there's nothing they can do about it.
No one's standing on the
anyway.
red pedal.
The red,
Oh,
yeah, the
no.
G-forces will kill us.
That's right.
So we've got one red pedal.
Yeah, well, certainly if that other scientist didn't get killed by getting squished by the plane, he's certainly going to get squished by the huge
Now he's
fireball.
Now he's vaporized till he
Yes.
comes back in Batman and gets shot.
No wonder these people didn't think it was a spaceship. Since when do you build a spaceship in your nursery in any case?
Yeah.
And the G-forces will crush us even when we're not even out of the lab yet.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I mean, how high up are they? Don't go up in the attic; you'll
Come
you'll
on, I
pass
could
out.
jump out and survive the drop.
And this is where he says the thing about we're going out in friendship. Like the rocket is unarmed; all they can do is try and reason with whoever it is. And you know, the great thing when they say to Ming, "Why do you attack us?" and Ming just says, "Why not?"
Yes.
Don't think that an advanced civilization is going to be benevolent. It's not Klaatu. Oh, that's good acting. Man. G-force acting's always good in
G-force acting,
sci-fi
yes.
films.
Yes.
That and being stunned.
Almost
I'm
got to have a
going-
bit of gurning.
And now we have the rocket stages blowing away because we know rockets did that.
But probably
Yes.
more importantly than that, probably the first in-film use of some really good Queen music with this sort of
This is called the
spectrally
love theme in the rocket.
Yes.
wonderful, wonderful. I mean, just very
in love
sublime
now,
and
are they?
subdued. And
Yeah, they're in love now. They hold hands in their sleep.
Yes.
There you go.
well, she gets very jealous of him when they're in the
She gets very
courtroom
clingy.
very soon.
That's
when-
very clingy very fast.
That's girls in the movies. At least she doesn't hurt her ankle.
Yes, I've known you for 2 seconds, and you're telling me that I can't go the Emperor's daughter.
I'm sure in a modern film they'd deal with all those issues. For most of the film, there'd be no special effects. Now, haven't they travelled a very long way here in this tiny little rocket in a very short time?
and a convenient cyclone to dive into.
Well, this is something that Ming must have set up, surely. That he's dropping all the, or sending his beam through to break up the Hollis
yeah.
moon.
You're giving Ming a lot of plans here. Here we go.
John Hollis.
John Hollis, otherwise known as Elton John.
Yes. Which is, it's Libo from The Empire Strikes Back.
And Professor Sondergaard from the Mutants.
That's right.
And Dark City, and the Blofeld who wasn't Blofeld in For Your Eyes Only. Now that's done by dropping paint in water, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. You have a layer of oil
That
and
or,
it
a
drops
Jim,
together.
that or a Jimi Hendrix album cover. Now they're hot, see? It's like drama school acting. Now we're hot. And they're Mong scale 3, their intelligence. Mong scale 3. That doesn't
Yes.
sound too high to me.
Yes, the planet Mongo, which I think originally was a big gas giant with all these floating continents in it.
Yes.
I think they stick pretty close to that in this realization, which is why you can go from planet to planet in a jet ski and not have to worry about breathing.
That's,
the
I
air.
was really worried about that, Tony. Otherwise, the film had no credibility whatsoever.
That's right. I was deeply concerned. I didn't get any sleep last night until I worked that out. So.
Well, they mentioned later during Flash's trip to Arborea that they're all planets, even though they don't look very large.
Japanese samurai.
Yes, the Gungans.
And it was around the time the Cylons were on Galactica too, and I thought they looked a bit Cylonish because they had swords and the armour plating. And now she has her Dorothy line. Are we back home?
Are we in Kansas?
It's all a dream.
I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. And I love this gun the guy has. It's a pretty crazy idea for a gun.
Yeah,
It's a handgun.
It had me baffled the first time I saw it what had actually happened.
And the thing with Flash always trying to shake hands with people.
Yes.
And it doesn't pay off the first few times. There you go.
Yes, the
that'll
old pig
learn you.
person doesn't understand that. That looked pretty threatening to me, mate.
Now, they cast Sam Jones after seeing him as a contestant on The Dating Game. And I believe that's where Laurence Olivier was found, and Daniel Day-Lewis. They were both contestants on The Dating Game. See, she's grabbing Zarkov.
Oh, okay.
Any port in a storm.
I suppose you can call the costume design in this, sort of very European looking, because I mean it's all done by these wonderful Italian costumers that
Yes.
used to deliver the stuff to
Used
the set
to-
each
used
day.
to
And
work
Mike
for-
used to look at it and go.
Used to work for Caligula, I believe, a lot of those people. And Zarkov still got his crazy ideas about we're going to start a revolution in the next 90 minutes.
Is this the one where he cries out that he's got a gun in his pocket and then he gets
Yes.
confused that
Yes.
they actually shoot it out of his pocket for him?
Yes.
Yes, he's not really up to that part of the job, is he? Lucky they brainwash him.
Yes. Here's a little
The head
floating threat, yes.
and the
It's
fish
not
eye
shooting things,
lens.
it's being the narrator.
It's got goofy eyes. There you go.
The
They should have
fishbowl
made the
lens.
whole film this way. Now, the lizard men were in the original comics, weren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
A little bit pantomime.
Gonski.
Yeah, well, they're not realised very well. They definitely do look like costumes.
With their
that,
face in their mouth.
Yeah, that was probably the best
maybe
looking
there's
one.
someone
That one
they've
we didn't get a
eaten.
real good look at.
They could get Steve Irwin to play it today.
The only time you could actually see where you were going was when you were having a meal.
We mentioned Galactica before. The other influence I think on this series is Flash Gordon's old mate Buck Rogers.
Yeah, well, Buster Crabbe played both in the original series, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Flash Gordon was originally created in 1934, I think it was, as a response to
Buck Rogers,
Rogers, which
yes.
had been going for about 5 years at that time. And then the old serials started with Flash Gordon. They made two of those, and then as you said, Buster Crabbe went and did Buck Rogers. So old Buck and Flash have always seemed to work hand in hand.
And
you know,
came back for the... they did 3 Flash Gordons in the end.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Flash Gordon
And
Flash
Buster
Gordon.
Crabbe even turned up on the Buck Rogers show.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And he wasn't in this film, but I remember seeing him at the premiere.
Oh yeah.
I wasn't there, but
Oh, okay.
I saw it on the old T&V. Here he is, Ming the Merciless. Looks like he's coming up out of hell. Queen music. So they said we need an Asian actor who's bald with a goatee. What about that 6'2" blue-eyed Swedish actor Max von Sydow? He'd be perfect. Either him or Shirley MacLaine.
Is Ming Asian?
I think Ming was originally.
Isn't he
Asian.
like an alien though?
Yeah, well, yes.
Yes,
but,
'cause
with
they're
the
on
name
another
like
planet.
Ming
Yeah.
and coming from Mongo, he was an Oriental
Ooh, there we
villain
go,
in the
Miss Muti.
original, with an Italian daughter.
Yes.
And Peter Wingard playing one of my favourite characters,
Darth Vader.
Clytus,
Oh.
who was the only character made up for the
Made
film.
up for the film, yeah.
Although
Yes.
they put him in the comics then. And here's Brian Blessed, the greatest under actor that we've ever seen, and he's holding a block of ice for some reason.
And here we are, we're getting all the cast together in one showing right at the start. Introduce everyone, because here comes
See, this
Timothy.
is very Shakespearean and all this, and Timothy Dalton, he stole the ice while we were burying our dead on Phrygia and all. Very Henry V.
Yeah. Well,
That's why they love doing it.
We even have a curtain call at the end of the film where everyone walks out
Yes, I love
hand in
that.
hand and stands in front and receives their cheers.
And they're all having a great time, aren't they?
Oh, there's your sword fight.
Yes, that's about as good as the sword fighting gets.
Just the wrong people doing it.
That's right.
And they said with Brian Blessed,
continuity error in the
he
main
was
credits.
such an energetic, over-the-top character that after introducing him, they leave him out of it till the second half because they want to save him for the big finish.
Yeah, he didn't want to lose Brian Blessed
Yeah.
before the end of the film. He wanted to keep that level of energy all the way through.
I wonder, in a script with Brian Blessed, does it have written out, "Da"? Is it actually written there? Oh, there's his little daughter, Rima. So it's established that he doesn't really like Ming.
Now, this is the first time for me that I saw Brian Blessed when I first saw this film. I haven't seen I Claudius yet at this time.
I just saw this scary man on TV every now and then going, "Yeah!"
He's certainly memorable.
Now, this was the only characters were not with the Lion Men. Remember the Lion Men? And the Lion Men were led
Yes.
by King Thun, so I think this is meant to be the Lion Men. Instead, they look like the West Indian cricket team.
Well, Flash obviously isn't impressed by him. He doesn't bother ringing these guys up when he wants to stage his revolution.
No, well, they're burying their king on their blasted kingdom. Kenny Baker's one of those dwarfs, I think.
Yeah, so I see in the closing credits.
Did he really think he could just come here and say, I have no tribute, but, I really respect you, and that would be
I
it?
love you a lot.
It's like
yes.
forgetting your wife's birthday or something. You really get a gift. Oh, but I love you anyway, dear.
Oh, no, Timothy Dalton just got away with it. He said, hey, he stole mine.
Yeah, that was smart. See, that was smart.
He's a man who
was
can think
my
on his
idea.
feet.
But Prince Baron's kind of Ming's favourite, I think, too. And he's going to
There's-
marry his daughter.
There's something going on with Prince Baron that they're not telling us too, I think. Because we're doing a bit of a thing now where we're mucking around with people's blood. This guy's a blue blood.
Yes, well, he's an aristocrat.
And later on we established that Baron's people are green bloods.
Blood colours with Tony Bleasdale.
But Baron has red blood, so he's obviously not who he says he is.
That's because he's actually bleeding in a dramatic scene, and otherwise it would be a
See,
distraction.
oh, no, he might be a human. There's something else going on. He's not telling us who he is.
His father's probably Darth Vader. There you go. Now, this is the only time Ming gets excited in the film is when he's offing somebody.
What a nasty, nasty man.
A psycho.
That's right.
Bit of Queen music again. We'll be saying that a lot today. won't we?
Well, you will.
And then he just gives the sword to Clyde. Here, get rid of that, will you?
Yeah, that's right. Hang that up somewhere. What's a psycho?
I don't know, but it doesn't sound nice, does it?
Oh, sorry, that's a compliment on my planet.
Gee, there's a lot less of them than you thought. Here she
There's a lot
is.
less of that when you think, too.
I will tell you that when I saw this with my friends, they lost their minds during this particular scene and proceeded to lose it every time she returned and made this noise, four, which I'd never heard before. Four. And I never got the joke before that her dwarf is called Fellini.
Yes.
And she's an Italian actress. Hey, baby.
Yeah, look at that jealous.
Yeah, that's right. She's worse than Rose Tyler.
I'm your girlfriend, aren't I?
You know what
Come
he
on,
should have
come on.
said? You don't own me. You don't own me. I don't see no ring on these fingers.
Can't
What
you
about New
read?
York Jets? Haven't won the Super Bowl in 38 years. I see they give most of these lines in this scene to the two actors, to Paul and von Sydow.
Poor Peter Wingard.
Yeah.
His big break back into film, and he didn't even get to show his face.
No.
Ah, well. I will always remember Clytus's face if that helps him. I will never forget the bits of his face we see later. Here's a bit of Max von Sydow acting. Do you ever think people say to him, you know, you worked with Ingmar Bergman? He goes, yes, but I also did Flash Gordon.
That's right.
That was much more fun. And then he went on to this to play a James Bond villain.
Yes, went and did June.
And June, where he actually did get to play a tall, blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy.
That's right.
And he'd just done The Exorcist, which is when the Western world sort of became aware of him.
It's a bit of spot the James Bond actor, isn't it? So we've got 3 actors so far in James
Well,
Bond.
they shoot all these big-budget films in London, and you need at least 3 actors. So, you know, they get a lot of work. Surprised Bruce Bower's not in it. Now, I didn't know what was going on there. Well, I did, but the whole thing with the hand.
A bit young when you first saw it. You didn't understand all this sort of
I
stuff.
knew that he was having some sort of naughty with her, but I didn't know exactly what this was all about. Like she's playing charades on acid.
Yes, he's got
That's
a
how big it has to be. You know?
he's got a hypnotic
Put
ring.
it right here.
He likes to get his girlfriend.
Look at Ming. Oh, goodness me.
He's got a hypnotic ring. He gets his girlfriend's pissed before he drinks, and plus he takes some strengthening potion, but he still wants to marry her before.
And he doesn't undress for orgies either, I've noticed. Where's my trust?
And his concubines are dressed more sedately than his daughter.
I noticed Flash didn't try to stop any of that. You know, enjoying the show.
Well, I don't think Flash has bonded with her yet in quite the same way that she's
Well, he
bonded
says
with
as
him.
much in a minute that he quite enjoyed what she was doing.
Did you see where Ming said, come here, and Zarkov thought he meant him? No, not that kind of film. And here they come.
Oh, okay.
The
Now we have
thugs.
the football segment.
And the Gourds.
Yes, just
Now, like,
introduce the
because
Gourds.
doesn't he get the absolute snot beaten out of him at the start? Stay back while I attack him with my head. How many times does he get one in the ghoulies?
Yeah,
3
that's
times.
right.
This was going to be just a normal fight, and they came up very late with the idea of making it a football game, and it makes it so much more
dropped him
fun.
like a sack of spuds.
And the problem was it was filmed in England, so none of the cast knew anything about American football except Jones.
No, well, lucky they didn't. If these guys played it like rugby, they would have killed him.
Yeah, well, very much so. And if you've ever played American football, it's really weird after playing rugby because all the rules of the total up. You throw forward, you're allowed to shepherd, you're allowed
Well,
to head high.
That's the problem. I think he's a quarterback, isn't he? So he's not used to
Yes.
getting hit.
So this is with the audience when everyone laughs. It's a lot of fun, and Brian Blessed being a naughty boy there.
Yes, that's right. Best moments.
Now is Flash just running around a big circle,
Yeah, he's
much.
just hitting people, I think.
Yeah.
and how little it takes for the people to support him. Like they're only under Ming out of fear, and once Flash starts winning, they start helping him subtly.
Yeah, in the king's bloody presence, or
Yeah.
the emperor's presence.
And we'll come up to my favourite part of the film in a minute.
Was that it? That's your favourite part of the film?
That's terribly funny, but this bit where they have the scrimmage.
No,
Now do
oh,
this.
Clyde just knuckles down.
Clyde just knuckles down. I thought that was brilliant and stupid. but-
27, 16, 3.
And then he does the signals. And all the
Flash,
girls,
go.
all the
Flash,
girls
go,
at my
yeah.
school tried to do the cheerleader bit there.
Oh, yeah.
Timothy Dalton doesn't want to get in the way.
Now he's lost his gourd.
Oh, plenty
Hey,
more gourds,
yes,
mate.
well.
Lots of gourds. It's
Because we had Deep Roy just flash past us then.
It's really turning into Cinderella at Panto time, isn't it? Hitting the guy on the head. And then, unfortunately, because we're only at the start of the film, it all
have to
has
stop
to
the
end.
fight.
There's
scene.
Deep Roy again.
You really like Deep Roy, don't you, Tony?
Oh, that's right.
Deep Roy's agent.
I'll have to do Charlie in the Chocolate Factory for you, Tony.
Yeah, his whole
that's
family's in that.
Yeah, that's right.
This is
Oh, I
see, this
bet
was
you
this was
do.
not in Star Wars. Well, you didn't get a lot of this in Star Wars. This was a little bit different.
No, Leia didn't have the
Sex.
same relationship with her father,
There's
so...
none of this going on until Jabba the Hutt's palace, and it was just a little bit different. It was like when you watched
But what if
Blake
he's your
Seven
brother,
after
son?
Doctor Who, and it had swear words and things in it.
And old Ming seems to be quite all right with that. His daughter seems to want to be climbing everyone in the palace.
Well,
She's very upfront about it. She even talks to him.
well, what do you think Ming? What do you think Ming does whenever he's got a spare moment? The first feint. Mingo Meantime. It would be funny if you saw people checking their watches when they heard that. Mingo Meantime.
That's right.
2 o'clock on the coast.
My watch is 3 minutes out. Don't let Ming find out.
And here we go. Prince Baron is a good man, but he is thinking with a part of his anatomy that she controls completely.
Well, it's lucky that he does. I mean, I'm also a little bit concerned by the end of this film when he's the one who gets to take over the kingdom simply on the basis of his girlfriend is the old man's daughter.
Oh, I think it's more of a co-op at the end of the film, isn't it, really?
I don't know if they had a constitutional convention in the palace.
I mean, he was the one standing around handing out jobs, though, wasn't he? I was like, yeah, you're
Well,
the
he was the
general now,
first to
mate.
join Flash, too.
Mm.
And here we are in the palace, and apparently bondage people very much enjoy this.
Yes,
scene.
well, this is the first of a couple of bondage. This is not the,
Very, very popular. And
not the most interesting
certain
bondage scene
parts
in
of
this film, but...
Scandinavia.
oh, yeah, not too much, fellas. Cut.
Yeah.
And see, I do like Peter Wingard as Clytus, the way he's so unimpressed by everything all the time, and that sort of
Shouldn't those spikes be on the inside
sarcastic
of that
sense of humour.
I got to agree, he's my favourite character in the movie as well, actually. Clytus.
And he's got a cool mask. Imagine if Darth Vader was like that. Yeah, Death Star, whatever.
Yeah, rebellion.
Bring in the
Okay,
Emperor's
righto.
porcupine. I asked my uncle what a concubine was when this came out, and he gave me some popcorn or something. I love the hourglass.
Going up.
yes.
Because I think in the comics that they had rivers that flowed, waterfalls that flowed up, and all sorts of things like that. And they did this really corny, but they said they got away with it because the creatures in the cells are all acting like, they know it's corny. And they look like the guys out of Life of Brian. I'll be darned.
Now, let's give you a little pat on the chest where you can't do anything about it.
Where's Copperfield?
Oh, Tony.
Oh, sock puppet, sock puppet. Oh, God.
I bet he's got a sock puppet at the moment. Oh, dude, do you think they cleaned out the old armpits for this? He had an armpit cleaner on the set. Look, see, it's such true love.
Yeah.
And
True
he's
love.
wearing a pair of leather dick togs.
Yes.
What if they pinch?
I think this film owes more than a little bit to 1974's Flesh Gordon.
Yes. And to certain other publications as well. Now this bit's it's like a nightmare, the bit where she can't turn the hourglass over. I thought that was a nice little bit there.
Yeah, so as if Clytus would have been fooled by that. No, don't come in yet, mate. The thing's only half full.
No, damn, sorry, my watch must be off.
And
I'd hope back soon.
it's
No,
obviously a gala event, this execution. isn't
Yes,
it?
we've got the blue guys
And
out.
at
Don't see
least
them
Ming
very
and
often.
Aura have worn black for the occasion. This is probably Clyde's
the band?
favourite duty. Now, when I saw this in the old days, we had to change reels. This was the end of the first reel, was Flash's death, which I thought was very appropriate. No, unfortunately not.
It's pretty ordinary,
I
isn't it?
generally don't like doing them in the afternoon, but it'll go.
Okay,
We're back. We're back.
we're back. Just getting blinded by the sun coming in here.
Yes.
And here's the doctor. They keep calling this guy the doctor.
Maybe because he's a doctor?
The doctor.
The doctor.
Doctor. And it was made in England. So.
They've had a crisis in their healthcare system.
Yes,
He's
there's the
pretty
daughter
hot,
discussing her
hold
sex life with Dad again.
Yes, there's a great big hint there that something's about to happen to Flash.
Yes, there is a get out of jail free card.
Stop fondling me.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry, mate, it's the Togs.
Well, I tell you what, that's a hell of a pair of stubbies.
Yeah, probably talking about 45 minutes to get into those, I reckon.
Yes, and even longer to get out of them.
Nothing like a nice black leather pair of lolly bags.
Especially when you go to die.
We're all having a lot of fun here, ladies and gentlemen. And is this the tears, the bit where Ming
Yes,
explains
that's right.
tears
Yeah,
are?
tears, what are
Sign
those?
of their weakness.
It's sort of like a bit of a June line too, isn't it?
Yes.
I'm amazed that she's crying.
Have another drink, Ming.
Yes, what they
Ming's
call
obviously a
tears.
borderline
We don't
alcoholic when
produce
you think about
tears.
it.
As you know,
He's
we
a-
have to
he-
spray it, lick our eyes to keep them moist.
He's a compulsive drinker, compulsive fornicator. He'd make a great American
He's
president.
just an
wouldn't
addictive personality.
he? He certainly is. And doesn't mind his elaborate costumes either. Oh, hello, I think something very subtle just happened there. in
Yes,
Flack's
that's right.
Death chamber. It's
Plot
like,
point.
like Lee Harvey Oswald at the police station. Now, this
does
was...
that mean?
Now cut his throat.
That means do it. And I think it was Peter Wingard's idea to pick up the glove, the hanky, and sniff it.
Yes.
And they said, "Why did you do it?" And he said, "I don't know. You won't let me show my face."
That's right, it's just an evil act. No, see this scene in Spider-Man?
Maybe. There you go, the gas chamber. And she fainted again.
Yeah.
Gee, you really didn't get your money's worth if that was a public execution, did you? Something else on the bill.
The old pay-per-view.
Yes.
You're like,
Bit cheeky. And he will return.
you enclosed him in smoke.
And they've got his logo on his
The
desk.
logo on his coffin. This is very Snow White, the Seven Dwarfs.
Executed by Ming. I guess that's just on all the blanks, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's on all
Executed
of
by
them.
Ming.
Is that Deep Roy there, Tony?
I can't see at the moment.
I was thinking they're more like Jawas with black outfits on, really.
And the coffin with the mirror in the ceiling.
Yes, so you can see if you're dead or not.
Yes. If you wake up, you know where you are.
Oh, this guy. So another guy thinking with the wrong part of his body.
Or the right part.
Oh, Tony, you're probably on Ming's side. Isn't it? Oh, I don't think that girl is completely trustworthy. I don't think she'll be wearing white at her wedding either, if I may say that.
No, she knows how to give a good party.
This is a little bit... Now, who would have thought that a band with a lead singer like Freddie Mercury would be able to produce a camp production like Flash Gore? Who would have thought it possible?
Yeah, who would have thought?
They probably originally wanted, Cat Stevens or somebody. Iron Butterfly.
Yeah, well, this was sort of Queen at the height of its powers. It wasn't long after this when Queen sort of went into its early 80s doldrums.
Ooh, it's a big call. Ooh.
They hadn't had Freddie Mercury in drag for I Want to Break Free yet. I was very shocked by that.
Yeah, that was a while ago. I mean, they sort of went to South America for a while and it was big down there, but I think it was... Well, they did another film in 84 called Highlander, which brought them back out again.
But this was an early for the idea that a band would do a whole soundtrack for a film.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mike Hodges says on his commentary that it's the first time they had a rock soundtrack on a film that wasn't about rock. I'm not certain whether that's true or not, but it's certainly an early example.
So you have Flash is dressed as a pilot, and
Well, Flash is in the Buster Crab outfit now.
in the 30s, pilots wore scarves, so it's
Has he
going
got,
back
has he
to
got the
detail.
star on his chest yet?
No,
No, I
he
think that
hasn't
comes
got it.
later on because
He
Buster
hasn't
Crab,
done 1 year yet.
Buster Crab had the big star on his chest, and then later on Sam does the same thing, which I think is a reference. It makes more sense than the lightning bolt, which I think is the wrong Flash. Yes, there's a nice science fiction convention.
What's and it's a serious bit of writing for Ming here. That's at any time in the show where they actually have some sort of rationale for a villain. And
So, do you expect me to talk?
I mean, what's Ming's greatest problem? Boredom.
Yeah.
He's been absolute ruler for so long that he actually almost enjoys Flash coming along later.
That's right. Well, you have that Jesus Satan thing where he offers him the world.
Yes.
So long as you'll bow down to me.
There you go. Dizan. Sounds like a drain cleaner.
Drain the brain.
It's actually a Japanese word, isn't it, for ultimate destruction or something like that?
I don't know.
I think it's some Japanese word like that, some doom and gloom word in their language.
Well,
Doctor.
So did you didn't Google Sam Jones? You can't tell us what else he did with his career after this?
Well,
film?
he was in 10 before this with Bo Derek, so understandably
okay.
people didn't really remember him all that much. I saw him in 2 action TV series, one of them with that great Australian actor Mark Jacko Jackson.
No, okay.
And funnily enough, that didn't win too many Emmys either. I don't think he did much after this.
No.
Poor old Sam J. Jones. I was a big fan of General Carla as well.
Yes.
She was a great. Always wondered if she had hair.
Well, this film, tell you, it's not the great lines from the trailer that I remember because I don't remember the trailer, but you remember the lines from the Queen soundtrack.
From the Queen
Yes.
clip.
You know,
Yeah.
send out Robot Ajax to bring back
Those
his
Gordons
body.
alive.
Now, I believe this was a real laser, and they had a real specialist on the set, and there's a huge amount of credits for it at the end of the film. It wasn't just an optical effect,
I don't know why it wouldn't have been an optical effect.
Why would they go to such trouble?
because, they could say that when they released the film, that we used a real... No lasers were harmed in the making of this film.
Well, Zarkov obviously read a lot of newspapers
Now,
during his
isn't
life.
this terrible? He gets married, and at the wedding reception, they throw her in the pool and she drowns.
Yes.
Although, why is it happening backwards?
Well, maybe it happened 3 or 4 different times.
Maybe it did. Maybe it did.
Maybe they're drowning all his wives.
I like the joke about Hitler as well.
Yes.
And in the audience at the theatre, I was the only one who laughed at that. So there you go. And there's T'Pol playing his father now.
Yes. And there's, as Mike was saying, living some of T'Pol's life.
If I were a rich man.
That's very good. Eh? All the way back to the womb. Oh, it's a bit. Turn the sound down. Will you?
No, that's right, yes.
Now, can
couldn't have
someone
sex in
explain
Flash
to me,
Gordon.
Tony, you might be able to explain, why Clytus tells him to put it on level 3? Why does Carla put it on level 6?
Because Ming's has lost control of his women. He's not supposed to be as smart as he... Carla's betraying Ming and his daughter's betraying Ming. Everyone here is unhappy and they're waiting for the first opportunity to...
And you
to
read
throw
all
off-
this in that one little line.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's something going on with those two, isn't there?
He's given a direct order and she's just turned around and said, no, bollocks, mate, I'm doing my
But
own
I
thing.
just wonder why.
They're all ready to revolt.
I don't know. I mean, to me, I always thought Carla was probably one of the most loyal subjects of Ming. I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe
she-
not Clytus, though.
No, no, definitely not Clyde, because he seems bored by it all. But
But she maybe
Carla
doesn't.
seems totally fanatically
Maybe
devoted to
she
me.
doesn't like working for Clytus, is what I'm wondering. 'Cause
Yeah, true.
The reason that the
try and
fact
get
that they
Clytus
do
in
this
trouble.
is why Zarkov's able to defeat them at the end.
That and he was thinking about the Beatles.
Well, that's why he doesn't get brainwashed.
Yeah, but
But
I
the
think-
knowledge he gains is vital at the end of the film. Okay, this is where the film gets a little bit racy.
Does it?
And again, if you had been to the Star Wars films, you were a bit confused during all this about what's going on.
Yeah, well, up to this point here, old Flash has seemed, a bit, few planks,
Virginal.
short of a length.
Well,
But at this point here, he's got,
Now it's going down.
he's got R.
he's thinking of Dale.
metaphor.
He's thinking of Zarkov.
Later on, he's got Aura, sitting in his lap, and he's sending a thought message to
Yes,
to his
that
girlfriend.
Cost
I
him
mean,
a lot of
that,
money.
that would not be the time when I'd want to have anyone reading my thoughts. And the fact that he can make a coherent thought while this is going on, I think he's, all power to him.
I just,
Yes, David.
saw a very confused group of young boys when this part of the film was on. No lightsabers here.
I'm sure it
I
were.
mean, oh dear, a little bit RACY.
Yes, what's she doing there?
And then he
I can
says,
manage
team
my
up,
own
maybe
belt.
I'll show you. That was a bit of a football illusion there, wasn't it? So why does Flash think she's rescued him? Why is he acting so coy? I don't do that stuff.
Yes,
I'm
I,
in
yes, I
training.
know, I can tell.
All-American man.
Yes. And here we are.
The harem.
Ming
Yes,
and
the
his,
booze
Ming
night.
and Ming's girls. And he must be a great lover because they give you a drink beforehand so that you can handle it. So that you won't mind remembering. Looks like green cordial to me.
Yeah, and she polishes off this entire bottle before the night's
Knock
over.
you out like a light.
Well, pretty much.
Trust
And,
me,
and,
you won't
they-
remember anything, especially the horrible bits.
and he obviously doesn't mind it being issued, so... Takes pride in the fact.
Lie there like a plank of wood. Yeah.
Well, I don't think he cares. Really.
So is there the presumption that there's a scene missing here? I mean, he brings us out to his woman before he takes him. In the morning, she's finished it.
I don't know, Tony. I just wonder why she doesn't just not use a normal radio here to communicate with Baron. Why she got to use a thought amplifier?
Well, radio's an unsecure line.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
You
pick
can't
up
tap
on
into telepathy.
little head
The whole atmosphere of the planet.
and the hairdressers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, there were a lot of Italians working on this film, so there probably was a few hair dryers lying around, so they just could have modified it for this.
Some for the girls too. There we go. There's a bit of flamboyancy here.
Phrygia.
Yes,
It's a place where no one ever wants to be.
yes. No wonder Aura doesn't want to go to Phrygia.
Yeah, that's right. She'd die there.
She wouldn't be able to function there. Here we go. See, this is why there's some said good. This is what happens if you drink too much, girl.
That's right. You wake up in someone else's
You
bedroom.
wake up in someone else's bed holding some green cordial.
Wake up in some evil galactic overlord.
Going,
is
gee, I
his way
feel
with you
sore.
all night.
And she's still going.
This is all a little bit much.
That's right. And here he is able to use the thought machine. I wouldn't be able to tell you my
Yeah,
own
this
name.
is why he's the king of the. This is why he's the king of the impossible, isn't it? That's right. Thinking to one chick while you're getting a hand job from the other.
Yeah, that's right. Not getting them mixed up.
In the old Irish handshake. Oh, baby. What?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Neil. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
whatever you say.
Not dead in that. Yeah. What? Fake him out till I get back. Pretend you got a headache. Say it's the time of the month.
No, but I did.
How's Dale able to telepathically communicate?
Yeah, she should be just receiving.
Yes.
This is a science fiction
Oh,
film,
I know, but
believe,
these
so-
things are very important. I mean, we just saw that very believable planet before. Now, this is Suzanne Daniel, who was the sex pot of the 70s and appeared in that very racy show, Doctor Who, playing a Mavellan.
Destiny of the Daleks.
And
This is A. Geller.
And she was in all these carry-on films. She was a bit of a hot property back then, if you're wondering who that strange-looking woman is. Here we go. We're all girls here.
That's right.
Get pissed.
That's what girls do.
We can have a bit of fun.
Dale's being a little bit resourceful now.
They'd be sitting around braiding each other's hair. Or
Yes, I'll get you drunk, and then when Ming finds you, he can execute you instead of me.
Yeah,
Excellent.
and that's
Is
because
that
I'm the
what
good
they call
guy.
it these days? Execution.
That's right.
Because I'm the good guy. And Zarkov gets a prize for wearing the silliest shirt now.
That's right. But he's got the big boots.
That's Liberace must have been visiting the set that day. There we go. So Zarkov has apparently been brainwashed.
Agent Zarkov.
Now we're going to Arborea, which with the name like that must have a lot of trees in it.
You think so?
I just took a stab in the dark.
I thought it might be boring.
That too.
No, we had the boar worms later on, don't we?
Yeah, the boring worms on Arborea. Not a very creative lot of people, are they?
Oh, we're back in England. Oh, that must be in England. I can't see anything. There's fog everywhere.
This would have been all right in 1980, but after 1983, it's impossible to have a look at this set and not think Return of the Jedi.
Oh, well, George Lucas was probably very worried when this film was. But now here we go.
Well, George Lucas wanted to make this film, didn't he?
Yes, they said no, he wouldn't do it tastefully for some reason. They gave it to Dino instead. Here we go. Now, look at this. This is the amount of undressing he does. He takes one belt off.
That's right. He's always prepared. He's a man who doesn't wear underwear.
Well, he is wearing more loose clothing.
Yeah, but a lot of it, though, you know.
Well, yes, he hasn't got the trousers on.
Yeah, that's right.
He's going to take his jewellery off. Hey, baby.
He's just wearing a nightrobe.
And now the show is about to begin.
All right. Now, you're a different species, so I'm just going to make sure you got everything in the right place.
But nearly every guy
what the
I
hell's
saw
that?
this with, every guy I saw this with said the same thing. I would have preferred her to Dale. Why did he throw her away? She was better looking.
Because she's a servant.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well, who cares? Serve. You.
And that's the last we see of her?
Here we are. Now Dale gets to do a bit of Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, it's almost Jackie Chan, isn't it?
Yes.
And she, get rid of those boots.
Yes. because that's what girls do. They walk around with their shoes in their head. And
Yes, and I get some of these.
these are the soldiers who were too dumb to be stormtroopers in Star Wars. They got a job on Mongo.
Yeah, and she's got no crimes. They're putting all them to death as well.
bit of martial arts there.
Ugh, pistol whip
Now
you.
we're coming up to my mate's favourite bit, which had him have all sorts of dreams and aspirations. It's coming up in a minute. First of all, any film where a girl's got a ray gun and she's shooting people, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, she shoots about as well as Princess Leia.
Here we go. There we go.
Oh,
Cartwheel
yeah.
and shoot. We had to pour water over him to calm him down. He was just in apoplexy. He also thought the ray beam passed between her legs, but it didn't. But he thought it did. Gave her a bit of a haircut.
I'm surprised it didn't.
Yes, hand shot first.
He was, yes, and hard shot first. Anything where girls are shooting is pretty good.
Chicks with guns.
Yes,
Chicks
that's
with
right.
guns, especially ray guns. Here we go. A meeting of the Ball Convention.
Yes, not a lot to say about that shot.
Now we've got a bit of Doctor Who corridor acting coming up now, haven't we? Activate Agent Zarkov.
He's active.
So they just stand there now.
Yep, we're guarding the cannon.
Here we go. It's very, very Doctor
Yes.
Who.
Got to put my shoes back on because I was wearing them in the next scene.
Now, she must have heard them say, send Zarkov away to be conditioned to be a member of the Imperial Police, but she must have forgotten.
Yes, there's a bit of a jump here, I think.
This is called explaining the plot. So you don't trust your secret police too much.
No, they've got a pretty good closed-circuit television set up around the place.
Oh, now what's the only time to get Ming annoyed is when he misses out on a bit of crumpet. Look at him. He's absolutely, he erupt the volcano.
I think that was the whole point, that he couldn't erupt his volcano.
Now he's got it. She's very,
That's right. If I can't have something, I'm going to kill something.
yeah, he's pretty miffed. He was really looking forward to that, obviously.
Can't do it metaphorically, I'm going to do it literally.
Stop it, nothing. Why is he wearing those fake breasts on his shirt?
Well, he's just going to play with them because he can't.
They look like Ku Klux Klan robes, don't they? Oh, another sniff. Here we go.
Back on
now
Endor.
we're into the... It's a real movie serial thing, the way it keeps jumping from location to location.
Yeah, that's hardly surprising.
Now, if you heard this bit but didn't see it, you would be wondering what these boys were doing.
Oh, this is the necrophilia thing coming up, isn't it?
No, I don't remember that part. That must be in the uncut version.
Listen to what Barron says when he rocks
I
out.
know, but I don't refer to it as the necrophilia bit.
Well,
That would have to require something else.
She was kissing him while he was still dead.
Would
But
someone
she
tell
knew he
Flash
wasn't
that,
dead.
Would someone tell him that Flash wasn't dead?
Yes.
Here we go. Look at that. That's very... and probably the most respected playwright in Britain, John Osborne, playing the Green Father. And Mike Hodges used him in all his films and said, I've never read anything like it. He said he's got a voice like cold sperm. Now, you're not going to mistake that for something else, are you? Ask for the test of manhood. Whoa!
Yes, there's a brief shot
Take
of
these goldfish, these live goldfish, and eat them.
Richard O'Brien there, writer of Rocky
Richard
Horror Show.
O'Brien is another. It's amazing he was in it.
This is why our species is dying out.
Well, only the males.
Well, I think you have to be pretty unlucky because there's like a dozen holes here and you have to stick your hand in one. I don't think you're actually supposed to get killed by this. They're probably just amazed. Wow, we've done this for 300 years and you're the first one we've ever lost.
They don't look all that surprised.
Whoa,
Maybe they rigged it
red
because
light.
they didn't like him. But, test of initiation.
And he leaves his hand in there for a really long time too. I noticed that Timothy Dalton doesn't leave his hand in there for quite so long
Well,
when he
he's the
does
boss.
it later
He's the
on.
star of the picture. He can't have that happen to him.
That's why he's alive.
I think he could have
Kid's dead.
He could have bailed out a bit earlier,
Well,
but
maybe
didn't quite
that's the
realise the
test.
rules.
They made it like the Gom Jabbar.
So are you stupid enough to keep your hand in there so the monster can move?
Put your hand in there. No, congratulations, you passed the test.
Take it
Right,
out.
come out,
Take your hand
out.
Now you
out,
know what happened
out.
to Robin's costume from Batman. Green pus.
Yeah, now if they were making a biopic about Errol Flynn, they couldn't have made him look any more like
Well,
Robin Hood.
they offered him the role of James Bond very, very early, didn't they?
They did, yeah.
In 1971.
He was too. He
And
thought he was too young
he
at the
said,
time.
I'm too young, and he's probably only just reaching the age here. But I remember noticing him in this and being very sort of surprised when a while after they just announced he was James Bond. Bit of a slum after playing Prince Baron in Flash Gordon, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah, you take what work you can get.
Yeah, it's a bit going downhill. There you go. There he got to go. All he wants to do now is eat. You see, he gets her finally, and he goes, "Prepare a feast." Those guys don't look like they cook very well either.
Yes, but they have to prepare the
To
feast.
ring a pizza or something.
I mean, they'd have to do something while the feast was being
I
prepared.
brought you a present. Gee, what else have you got? You got something better than this?
I reckon that's a great
It's
one.
very hard to deliver that line with a lot of conviction, isn't it? It mustn't come
Well,
up
you-
very often.
You have to bite it out, really, don't you? I think
Now,
he's
what
angry.
does she mean when she says, "If you kill Flash, you'll never have me again"?
What do you mean? What does he mean? Isn't it self-evident?
With
Mike?
the kids in the audience going, "Mum, what does that mean?" You'll never have me. I don't believe the groom has had you yet. That wasn't in Star
Your
Wars.
dad just probably gave you some more popcorn when you asked that
That was
question.
that was my uncle. You couldn't get my dad to a film like this if you tied him down. He seemed to think it lacked a certain credibility for some reason.
Really?
I wonder what would happen if Max von Sydow had played Flash. Here we go. So we learn that Zarkov escaped conditioning by reciting songs from the Beatles.
Yes.
What happened when they regressed you to before the Beatles?
We did Shakespeare.
And I noticed he recited the Talmud. He did recite the Quran, for example. Here we go, the Hawkmen. Now we're getting somewhere. Do you remember in the original Batman show, Burt Ward had those green gloves? I've just realised where they went.
Just thinking the old Hawkman. They had Hawkman on Buck Rogers too, didn't they?
Just the one, and he couldn't fly.
No, that's
so they
right.
really should have just called him Man,
Man.
really. Yeah.
Hey, man.
Hi, I'm a Hawkman who can't fly. That'll save us a few dollars.
Might be a bit of a Barbarella reference there too, eh?
Dodo Man.
He was an angel.
Yes. Yes.
A
One
blind
of the X-Men.
A blind angel who also couldn't fly at one point.
Oh, all right.
Obviously, there weren't a lot of big budgets around then. Like in Star Wars, the Death Star originally couldn't blow anything up. You know, they thought they'd
Yeah, for
save
20
themselves
years.
some money.
Yeah.
Here we go. This is a great scene here.
Yeah. So Timmy, what did you and Dad go and see? Well, Mum, they tied the lady down and the man hit her with a whip until she. Well, okay, go and get your father.
Yeah, man. This is, and then of course later on they say she actually enjoyed all this. Now, see, she's connected to the lie detector, but when she says your jealousy has made you mad, it doesn't go off. Mm-hmm. Does that mean that she's telling the truth?
Or she believes it to be the
She
truth.
believes to be the
I
truth.
don't know. I think she says you're mad twice, it doesn't go off. Bring me the ball worms.
Yes. Yes, they'll talk for 45 minutes on
not
who's
the ball worms. Not the mind probe. And when you see him,
who's the better captain, Kirk or Picard, and away they go. 2 hours later, oh God, I'll tell you whatever you want.
she's Italian, but they really try to make her very Oriental, don't they? Sort of some
very
of the Arabian
exotic, yeah.
names. And Ming seems to be eating cool mints. Mm-hmm. This is how he passes his time of day. He watches his daughter get tortured.
Yes, he really is bored.
Hello.
Eddie, you knew I was a slut.
Now, that's meant to be like a projection, isn't it? Like,
All right.
Or is he's not standing in the cupboard.
It's like in the big
he's just standing there in the doorway, just watching.
In the dark.
eating his
crunch,
cool
crunch,
mints.
crunch, crunch.
Eating his cool mints. Now Baron's gone and got sloshed because this is how he deals with it.
Oh, well, you're a genius, mate.
I like the
See why
crafty
you're Prince.
trusty henchman played by Riff Raff from Rocky Horror. You think he's working on a new theme for a new musical there?
Or for shock treatment.
Oh, that's probably where they wrote it. Yes, how are you at swimming? Oh, Flash, he's such a natural leader.
Yeah, that's right.
This looks like something out of Gilligan's Island, this cage.
Oh,
This was
dear, more
this was a
sock
big
puppets.
film for bald people, wasn't it? A lot of bald people in this film.
so I was going to say back when Brian Blessed was young and fit, but the man climbed Everest 20 years after that, so I guess he can't be doing too bad.
No, he does all right, yes. When he's not going, yeah! He looked a bit fat in Phantom Menace, I thought.
He did, yeah. He looked a bit ill.
Slobbering a bit. Might have had a stroke.
I'm just about certain that Richard O'Brien could climb out of that hole there if he wanted to.
Yes.
But then he's not supposed to, is he? He's a
Just like the
plant.
way it's a real pantomime key. It's this
not certain
gigantic
any
key.
of them could.
Like in Alice in Wonderland.
I reckon any of them could climb out of
I'm
those.
surprised it
holes.
doesn't have key written on it.
It's a
Now, this is my
it's an
favourite
honour thing. We put you in
line.
the cage and you stay in there. You don't go climbing out until we tell you to.
This is my
If I
favourite
know you can
line.
walk through those bars.
Don't. Oh, all right.
When he says, should we banish or should we execute Aura? No, too kind. Nice Max von Sydow line.
Yes, you can go to prison for a year. Not too bad.
Too kind. Not his most attractive
You
vision
can
from
go
the
to
back.
your bedroom for a week.
But how you say, I'm going to punish her terribly. I'm going to marry her to you. How's that for? That's not very nice, is it?
No, oh, well, you get it where you can
Oh,
get
look,
it.
He can't wait. He's going to spend a whole year thinking up stuff.
That's right.
And then I'm going to make her do this. And then I'm going to make her call me this. With pleasure. He seems to genuinely like Clytus. And it's really silly, isn't it? He seems to actually like him. And the city of the Hawkmen, which is where they
A
got
bit
the
more
idea
bondage.
for Cloud City from.
No, Cloud City came before this.
Well, the Cloud City was going to be in the first film.
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah,
I'm
lucky
getting
you
dragged
told- I never
along
would've
just
noticed
beside you.
And they all sit on little perches. That was a weird idea, wasn't it?
Because they're bird people.
Because they're bird people.
They keep looking in mirrors and
They all
going,
sit on little perches. And here he is. This is,
Yes,
It
he's a
starts-
man. He's a man who knows how to live.
and he starts to proceed to steal the film from about now. Yeah.
Yes, just walk all through the buffet. Thanks very much.
And so Voltaire is like the character in a lot of these films. He's sort of a little bit of a coward, and the whole film's about getting him to join up. Is that Daryl Hannah over there dressed as a hawk woman?
No, it's Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Oh, is it? No. Okay, thank you. If I find out it's not. She looks remarkably tall for 7 years old, doesn't she? That line, that's a very Brian Blessed line. Gordon's alive. Please do it again,
Yes,
Brian. That was a bit too
Do the
subtle.
echo.
check out that guy's broken nose.
Here we go.
Oh, what a he
Up
Yeah,
to-
so
up
these
to
guys
it.
are
No,
fit.
that was another film, but he looked a lot like.
Oh, very similar. Yes.
Oh, there you go. Never trust a bald man with a big key.
So this is the thing where we force you to come into this room, and now anyone who comes into this room except us is executed.
Ah, but they're playing by the rules now, see. So
Russian roulette.
I'm sure Aura's going to completely believe this when Baron tells her the boudoir later.
Yeah, she got stung. You got stung by the little bag scorpion.
He
Sorry.
insisted on taking this test of manhood. And that's the end of John Osborne's lines until the next Mike Hodges film.
Yeah. And of course, you could just win this by saying, "Yeah, mate, your nodes are bigger than mine. You win. I'm not putting my hand in there."
I'm sure that's what you'd do, Tony. But you're not called savior of the universe.
That's right. I'm not king of the impossible.
Yep, sorry, I'm a girl.
That's another
Not as
god
good as you.
there,
Sorry, I'm
Arbor.
out of here.
Yep. Can I go now?
Bye-bye. Yes.
Who's doing his hair while he's in the mud all the time?
Yeah, that's right. Especially when he comes out of the muck later on.
Oh, here we go. Girl's blouse. Why don't he just put his finger in?
Or you already know that hole's safe.
Yes.
So,
I don't think it works that way. If it is, they'd never have a problem. There you go. Here you go. See, this is what men do.
ding, ding,
No,
ding.
that's right.
Stupid things.
That's what you do when you haven't got a television. Or women. Yeah, something. None of these planets have got women on them except for Ming's place.
Well, the women wouldn't be allowed.
So
in
there's the one.
temples
So that was-
during
that was the one with the
test
beast
of
in it.
manhood, Tony.
There's no women on the entire planet.
Well,
You don't see much of the planet.
They're
really.
not. Yeah.
They're off cooking.
Somebody tell Tony to wake up to himself.
They're in the kitchen. they're
Don't
in
question the
beds.
reality of this highly realistic docudrama.
I think Ming's just taken all the women back to his place, and that's where everyone has to go and go to these conferences. You don't have to go there to listen to Ming, you go there to get married.
Or at least get some.
Yes.
Now, I think Barron's cheating just a little bit here. It's very subtle, but I think
Making him
he's
go
cheating.
twice. You scamp.
Yeah, of course, he was playing by the rules until he stopped playing by the rules.
Yes, that's right. When you're the prince, you can do that.
And of course, Warwick Capper's just going along with it.
Oh, he's thought up something now, so.
I'll yell out, stab.
Oh, do you want to say a word then? Tortured
Yes,
madness.
we make you watch this film over and over again. I'd give you 20 minutes.
That's all right. I'll live with the torture. Can I go now?
That's right.
There you go.
Ha. And he throws the sword away immediately.
Yes, Flash always throws weapons away.
And jumps down to the bottom of the forest where there's probably other wood beasts.
That's right.
Yes.
Places a lot
Maybe
of
he's going to look for
animals.
the women, Tony. And we have to have that great 30s movie serial cliche, the quicksand.
Yes.
Can't get anywhere with that quicksand.
Well, quicksand's everywhere, isn't it?
Yes, and it's very quick.
Yes.
Oh, down he goes.
Now, Trev, would you like to tell us when you first got this soundtrack, or was it one of your first, or did you listen to it a lot? Or
I'm not really sure actually. I mean, I'd liked Queen for years before this as well, so it was probably one of the last Queen albums I bought. Probably because I seem to remember for quite a while you couldn't get the soundtrack on CD.
No, you probably couldn't. But what about when you were a wee person? Did you have this?
No,
Oh,
not when I was a wee person. No.
You person.
I had a dubbed copy that we played the grooves of, which is hard when it's a tape.
Now we're going to have one of those awful Doctor Who monster type things. The big
Spider thing.
Yeah,
the big vacuum cleaner bag with legs.
This bloke gets into more trouble than Indiana Jones, doesn't he? Crawls out of one trouble and crawls straight into another one.
There you
Just go and
go.
lie in some creature's stomach.
Well, I
yeah?
think Raiders of the Lost Ark might have borrowed a little bit from the serial. So I think it was very subtle, but I think they borrowed a little bit.
You can tell old Prince Baron's not a. He's
The
not a
Attack
real.
of the Killer Leaves.
He's not a real bad guy. And any bad guy worth his salt would just stand here and have a decent gloat. But he actually shoots the monster and wants to get a bit more
Yes.
involved. Should have just stood there and had a
Maybe
drink
he was
and watched
aiming
it.
for
I
Flash. and
tell you
got the
what,
monster.
Baron took a long time to become a good guy, didn't he? There's a lot of confrontations. I like the laser crossbow.
Stand there and have a giggle.
And all that garbage that's all over his outfit now, it's pretty grotesque.
Laser crossbow. So this is the Wookiee planet.
Yes.
I
that's
knew
right.
I'd seen.
Oh,
it
so
somewhere
this is the
before.
one where they go to the Wookiees' home.
Yes.
Yes. It would make sense.
Yeah, there was a film out there.
When
with
that happened in the movies, I remember everybody cheered when the Hawkman came in. And a plane like a big mosquito.
Yes, the
Remember
big
that?
mosquito planet.
Even it sounded like one too.
And Clytus having a sleep in the Air Force One.
I thought he was working on his tan.
No, it's not a solarium, no.
Well, there's a bright light that comes down from above.
Now, how do these pilots get off the cockpit? There's no other door.
This is your life, mate. We just seal you in there. This is
Seal
your
in there
job.
and that's it.
We put in food and take out waste.
Through the same pipe.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It's got the old sun lamp happening in there.
Chicken, do not
He
disturb.
wants to get a good tan for Aura when he marries her too.
Yes.
Someone lock him in.
Now Flash is all clean again.
Yes, he's got his hair done.
Now we've got to move to the next setup.
If
The
it's
next
one thing
fight.
bird people understand, it's how to do hair.
Yeah, because birds have a lot of hair, as you know. You don't see any eggs, I know. There are no eggs anywhere.
No eggs. They're with the bird women.
The bird women with laying eggs.
Yes, and sitting on them.
I always liked his lieutenant there, Luro, John Hallam. I thought he always looked to me like Bill Wyman.
Do they all have a sudden urge to crow when it comes to dawn? Or something? Or get on the edge of the little clamp and
I think
scream
they've watched
out?
too many Roman movies too, for some reason. Oh, now we've got to get back. Don't forget the original plot. They're actually here to do something rather than just stuff around.
You mean we're not here to liberate this planet?
If you're watching this going,
No,
oh
we're here to
God,
3
this film's
hours."
got another 14 hours. Oh, there are the eggs up there. Oh, look at that.
It tastes like mud.
Even when he doesn't, even when he's not speaking, Brian Blessed can overact like no
Yeah.
one.
That's
He's
right.
amazing.
And they wanted him to be, at one point there was talk about him being Doctor Who.
Mm.
They changed to Doctor. Imagine with Billy Piper, he'd never leave her alone, would he? Doctor, get away. Here we go.
The gong has spoken.
Spartacus.
This is one of my favourite scenes in the whole film.
This thing looks like it would have been really difficult to shoot, eh?
Mm.
These guys running around on this platform and it's tilting around all over the place.
And it would have been actually tilting on the set, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it'd have to
they
be.
would have had a
And
real
we're
tilting
about to
thing.
see the end of the gloves.
Not certain how far this is off the ground, but it must have been really awkward to do.
You can see it.
Yeah, I don't
wobble a
need
bit.
those.
Just chuck them into the void.
Holy God, Batman!
I think I saw a kidney punch there. How long is this before Voltaire gets bored? About 5 seconds?
Before he gets the right controls happening.
Yeah. Bloodthirsty man.
He's got another slash to go with his flash.
Considering it missed him by
Yes.
about a mile.
He's got
There,
the-
look,
the
he's
light
bored
thing.
already.
Didn't meet him anywhere near where he grabbed.
Yes, this fight's already gone on twice as long as the last one. Usually someone just picks someone up and throws them off the edge.
And he obviously wants Flash to win because he doesn't like Barrett all that much.
I wonder how often Sam and Tim went off this thing.
Oh, probably a few, especially after a big night the night before. Didn't Sam Jones get badly beaten up one night? I think Mike Hodges said
Mike
on
Hodges
his
was saying
night
that
off,
before it
some
started.
gang attacked
Yeah.
him.
They kept it all quiet. These 5 hoods beat him up. At
And
the
I hear
pub.
they only did it when they saw the film. That's why they...
They just wanted their money back.
Oh, dearie me.
Oh, now it's just got worse.
You think they probably didn't even pay Brian Blessed to make this film? They just had a good time.
Oh, you mean sod?
Now, he did, right after this, I remember seeing Blessed in High Road to China, playing pretty much the same part. Oh, look, now you got me mad now.
Yeah,
now
that's
you
right.
got me mad. No more Mr.
He
Nice
wears
Guy.
a few for that one.
Yes, that'll
Yeah, it's
learn
not in
you.
the face. I'll keep on going till I get you in the face, buddy. That's the way. If you're fighting someone pretty, just make sure you hit them in the face. They'll give up pretty soon.
Don't upset the do.
No, he gets rid of the other whips. He's a man who knows how to think.
Yeah, I think he's done this before.
Well, Flash could have done that a while ago.
I'm a little busy at the moment, dear.
Yes, I'm having trouble actually drawing oxygen.
I want to talk about our relationship. I feel trapped. You're not letting me breathe. Oh, now that's not fair. Is it?
Yeah,
You should
that's
have
right.
a referee there.
Oh.
This is how Ming's kept in power for so long. He gets them all fighting each other.
Yes, kill one
And
another.
there's no reason for it.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Okay.
But first of all, shish kebab.
Sure, not a problem.
Now Voltaire's trying to find the one that works that spike.
Well, I think he wants a nice, slow, long one there. A bit of a glow. And Flash.
Oh,
The turning point in Mongo's history.
come on, Flash, you can do it. King of the impossible.
Go, Flash, go.
Now, this is a bit of trivia for you. Melody Anderson, who played Dale, had to dye her hair to get the part.
Which is interesting because Dale was blonde originally.
Well, they obviously read the wrong comic that day.
Yes.
There we go. And instead of a romance here, it's a meeting of two manly men.
What am I supposed to do with that?
This is like Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson.
I'd lick it or something.
Yes, Bruce, I will wear that outfit and follow you everywhere.
Okay,
I mean,
stop stalking me.
Why would you logically think, match our thumbs up and grab hold of your hand? If you weren't familiar with the idea of a handshake.
Yeah, that's right.
Now he becomes a
And
zealot
as
for the
Trevor
cause.
says, lick it.
Planet of the Apes moment.
There we go. Now the music here actually is Roman music now, isn't it? When they assemble to meet Clytus.
Cletus.
Yeah, it's definitely a fanfare.
This bit.
Is Clytus playing this music as he rocks up?
That's got to be Roman music.
Little tape.
Look, it's like a cab, isn't it? Like a taxi. That'll be $9.50.
Wait a second.
No hello, just I'm going to kill you and you and you.
Wait
and
for
you
me.
too, Scarecrow.
Yeah, you just walked into a enemy city.
Oh no, they don't dare. So they can vaporize the
No,
kingdom.
even Baron doesn't dare. He,
And they say, oh, no, he didn't come in. What are you talking about?
Now, is his name Prince Baron or Baron Prince?
it's a case of, come here, Flash, you kill this guy, because none of the rest of us are going to dare do it. Huh.
Yes, didn't she like it? Ooh. There we go.
Flash, kill this guy.
This is
for
where
me.
the film starts to ramp up a little bit. What a great ending for a baddie.
Oh, that's right.
Now, I hear that Jar Jar Binks was originally going to die this way, and that they said, no, it would be too popular. There you go.
That's right.
Hey, yes, we put your face in it, Peter, you asked. I don't see anybody carrying anything.
No, that's right.
Carry
Well,
the eggs.
Take whatever you could carry, and it's like, well, not much.
No, I'm
Righto.
not carrying anything, mate.
Yeah, forget the women. Let's just get out of here.
That's right.
Don't warn anyone
So
else
really,
in the city. Let's just
I mean, Mongo that day, it started a normal day, and by the end of it, there had been a revolution, and 1,000 years of dictatorship was over.
It's replaced by another 1,000 years of dictatorship by a guy who likes living in forests.
That's right.
By the dude without the gloves.
The gloveless one.
With all his leather boy army to back him up.
Gee, Ming wrote a lot of laws, didn't he?
Well, he gets bored a lot.
And we never really see any of the Hawkmen take off, I noticed.
It'd be a bit like George Reeves, I guess.
Oh no, don't knock him. That was some classy special effects there, George. I've never seen better.
Yeah, that's right. That's a dumb plan, mate. A halo jump.
This is hardly the time for that sort of thing. Now I love this. What's their big plan?
What's our big plan?
Ming and the whole Imperial fleet, how are we going to fight him? I've got an idea. Let's wave a white flag.
No, it works too. They catch it.
Zarkov's great plan. We surrender.
But it works.
White, he's declaring war against us.
What is Ming wearing on his head there?
A skull cap.
On his bonce?
Yes.
He's trying to look like a cue ball.
It's stand-in hair.
Yes.
A lot of hair wax.
Yes.
And
doing
now we
great,
have
mate.
another talking bit.
Yes, because I'm going to leave you here to die.
Now, I saw Sam Jones interviewed, and he said that even though this could have been done with him just looking off camera to a double, Max von Sydow would come down for every take dressed in the outfit, even though it took him an hour to put it on. He said he was a tremendous professional. But I don't remember Max von Sydow saying much about his acting.
Yes. Yes, I can see Max doing this to the script girl.
So Ming's quite a shrewd politician as well as everything else. Oh, thank you very much.
Yes, you're a hero. King of the impossible.
You really like that. Maybe they should retitle it.
He's for every one of us.
Ming didn't have a song, though. Hey?
No, that's
Put
right.
some words to the Ming theme if you could work it out.
The Ming thing.
Crush, death, violence, destroy, barbarism.
I'm a
He
Swedish.
hates every one of us.
I'm a Swedish Chinese
Torture
person.
all of us.
I fornicate with all of them.
Well, he hasn't. He's got less than anybody else in this film.
Not for
He
want
wears
of trying,
his
though.
clothes
Yeah,
on,
that's
fornicating
right.
with drugged women.
And he gets fornicated at the end anyway. So.
Dale.
Yes.
We planned to
Yes,
marry
well and
her.
truly, Roger.
Me and my three brothers. Lucky old Dale, hey?
It's true love. We'll breed
Yes.
with her.
Yeah, it's got to marry that one. Can't just concubine her.
Here's a nice bit of acting here with the goblet.
Good goblet acting?
Good goblet acting.
I like a good
The way
goblet
it sort
acting.
of pauses a little bit there. Someone probably
Oh,
hey,
that's-
that
that's
guy's
great.
actually acting here. What the hell's all that about? You should have got here early. Pick the best one.
Honestly.
So that's another
obviously like
climax
that
gone.
one.
So in the old films, they said, tune in next week to see what happens to Flash. Gee, it's a very slow-moving target, that one, isn't it?
Well, in the old days, you wait until the explosion goes off, then you had the serial. And then the next one, you show him getting on the sled before it blows up.
Oh, then that lady who lives in that house with the big axe would get angry. Start cutting people's ankles up. There we go. Lucky that was there, hey?
Yep.
Imagine
It's
trying to
down
look at some of
there.
those bolts.
To the motorcycle, which he knows how to operate.
Yes, he's done a pilot's license.
Well, he's had flying lessons.
You should have had
Fortunately,
Ming
it's got
say...
the go button.
should have had Ming say, before you blow up the kingdom, just look out for any rocket cycles above your city.
That's right, take them all with
With
us.
a little butt protector on the
So
back.
what do the Hawkmen use the rocket cycle for?
Visitors.
Visitors.
Who are not Hawkmen.
But we have the handcuffs that we can't fly them around in anyway, so...
Well, I don't think...
That's a wheelchair.
I don't think you handcuff your visitors.
That's
Hawkmen.
That's right, disabled access.
I don't think you handcuff your visitors.
Oh, dear.
Birds in the trees. Snakes on a plane.
It's Flash, he's coming in a wheelchair.
Why is he using one of our wheelchairs? Oh, dear.
Hey, you can't park there.
But what gets me is when Flash comes in and he says, I'm on a rocket sled. And he's used the exact terminology that so the Hawkmen know exactly what he's on.
That's right.
Well, the Hawkmen are going, rocket sled. Hey, that's a good name.
Hey, we
We've been calling them speedy bikes up till now.
the unwinged
Weedies.
people. The unwinged people. Breaker.
Yeah, that's right. Meanwhile, Voltan here's got this thing the size of your fingernail that he can use to communicate with, and this bloke here's on a two-way.
Breaker. 10-4, little buddy.
You obviously don't have the high technology on the wheelchairs.
The bald Smokey's got the
What
right
a
day.
heroic pose Flash has there.
Now he
My
does a
word.
war whoop as well.
A war whoop?
Yes.
Dumb old bird.
Oh,
Oh, is that the war whoop?
Now, I believe this next scene is the most popular with males. I don't know why, but I believe it's the one most males remember when they watch this film.
Oh, the cat fight.
Yeah, well. Yes. Scrag fight. Don't touch all. Much worse than that coming up, lady.
Does that mean his father gets a go at her now?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Putting the daughter in your
And
own
with the
harem.
In the hair of
concubine.
That's where you keep an eye on her. Ming's busy having his potion.
And of course, all the hired help like it when the
Now, I believe in the original version, this went for an hour and a half, this scene. And a bit of jelly was involved.
hired help like it when the landed gentry always go at one another, hammering and tongs. They're having a good look around the corner at this.
Jeff would love this scene.
You could have
Jeff?
a whole movie of this. This would be nice.
Something out of Eon
That's right. I could watch this all day.
There you go. And now, unfortunately, it's all over. Now they become friends, and where's the fun in that? Yeah, they're pretty lousy guards because she's got poison in her bodice and she's got those deadly knitting needles later.
Yeah, well, I think we've already established that the guards are pretty inept.
Having favours done for him, I
Never
think.
trust a woman who carries poison to kill her father in her boob.
Little boob pouch.
It's really Lady Macbeth, isn't it? Just slip that in when he's getting a bit excited. He won't notice.
How will I notice when he's getting excited?
Now, why does her
Just rub this
father-
on your breasts.
Why does her father take a power potion before he makes love? Does that mean he's
Yes.
comes
Performance
up a
problems, or-
bit short?
Well, that's probably the
No,
first
Wake up.
movie use of Viagra.
Erectile dysfunction. Look what happened to the guy who used it.
I don't know why he bothers, because they're all zonked out of their gourds anyway. Plus, he's got his hypnotic ring.
The joyous time has come. We've just seen him go to the chemist, so it won't be long now. If there's no queue, he'll be back in half an hour. Here we go. Who's going to save me now?
He's taking the pill. He's going to go watch some porn.
And now Queen goes into overdrive. With their
Yes.
one-word song. Flash, flash, flash.
Oh, it's all about Flash.
It is.
Flash and his heroic pose. On
I love the guard asleep, the old cliche of the guard asleep with the big microphone.
Yes.
Yeah, you thought all your mates getting killed would be motivation enough to stay awake, wouldn't it?
Does anyone speak Klingon?
Flash Gordon's alive.
Welcome to the Hellfire Club.
What do you think I mean, Flash Gordon approaches?
Yeah, very cryptic.
I mean,
there's
we're
Flash
holding
Gordon,
a party later
and he's
on.
approaching.
Yes.
This was in the
Go
trailer.
for it.
This was the first thing I think we saw in Australia was this bit. We thought, gee, what lousy shots.
Yes. Oh, they're getting him.
Yeah.
Right, plan B. Plan B.
Hide behind this
I didn't
mountain.
see him turn around.
He was very quick.
I would be.
As you
if
would
I was
be.
shooting him.
Turns on a dime.
I don't know what the plan was there, but it's obviously failed.
There you go. You've got to be tough when you name a warship after a floor cleaner.
To bring back his body.
All of it, please.
And it can go at the same speed as the warship.
Most of it, at least.
Yeah, well, those warships
I
are pretty
remember- I
heavy.
thought
It takes some getting up to get up
The
to speed.
crew of the Ajax looked a bit shabby after the Empire Strikes Back.
Another wonderfully classic-looking, comic-inspired ship
Yes.
there. Fantastic stuff.
With the anti-gravity machine. I think that's him, sir. That might be him. Let me just check. Yes, that appears to be him.
Yes, that appears to be the guy on the bike.
Oh, we
we're
missed
chasing.
again.
Yes, you missed him by about 30
Oh,
miles
we hit
by
the
that
cloud.
look. Well, if you can't shoot him, everyone will have to.
No.
Can't go into that
There we
menacing
go.
cloud.
That was a great bit too when that happened, when you saw the Hawkman.
Yes, yes. And in
Ryan
19,
Blessed nearly has a heart attack in these next couple of scenes.
1980, that was no easy scene to put together either, eh?
No.
How many layers of film have we got in that shot?
And now they could have all the Hawkmen be real Hawkmen.
That's right, and they could really fly. And
Loses that theatrical quality.
Because now they only have one Hawkman.
Yes, Deep Roy.
Yeah.
They'd have some method actor who'd study birds for 9 months before playing the part.
That's right, because
Go,
clouds
Brian,
stop laser
go.
beams.
Right. Here we go.
yeah, I don't know how
Shooting
you,
as soon as we go through.
Hey, can you see R2-D2 on the back of the war rocket?
how you'd go doing a camp or even a theatrical film with the CGI effects. It'd sort of lose its feel,
yes.
wouldn't it?
Might not be a bad thing sometimes. I think I can see the rocket now.
Yes.
Start shooting.
There's a practical effect, just a bit of old smoke
And
machine.
there's R2-D2.
Yep.
Oh, hello, we didn't think about the Hawkman.
No, there's rather a lot of them. No Hawkwomen. but
Chariots
lots
of
Hawkmen.
Fire music.
Start shooting.
Yeah, they don't for a while, do they? There you
Come
go.
on, we're not very good shots. We
I
shoot
wonder how that was
wild.
written in the script. About 8 eyes in it.
Yes.
Oh, you
one can
you mean this?
no one can say dive better than Brian Blessed.
Well, you're all mad.
And no one can laugh quite like him. Right.
They've all
Guys
got
with guns,
swords.
please.
Guys with guns and swords. And hot yellow pants. Ronald McDonald outfits. Nasty gap in his teeth there, isn't
Oh, gee, he shoots better with that. I guess you can't butt hit Hawkman, can you?
it? I don't know, Tony.
I missed the first 30 I was aiming at, but I could get one of them.
Yeah, I wasn't aiming at him.
This guy's black with him.
And I guess this probably didn't the soldiers that didn't stand up as well against Star Wars, but there's no battle like this in Star Wars where people attack the outside of a ship and try and capture it.
Why aren't they blowing off?
Now here's a bit of a dodgy thing. Biro gets hit and it's a big drama, but we don't really know who Biro is.
No.
So like who cares?
Poor Bureau.
He's one of the valiant Hawkmen.
Well, we know that later, but he just goes, Biro's hit. They should have had someone go, who's he? The guy
which
named
one's
after
Biro?
a pen.
He's the guy with the wings.
Because they
Well,
could have had
who's
Luro get shot. At least we know he is.
Chap with wings, 5
Chap
rounds
with the
rapid.
wings. Well, he certainly got that, didn't he? Well, he
Oh,
looks
very
like
well done.
Santa Claus on crack. There we go. A boom.
Yes, yeah, boom.
Remote control, no less.
Yes, shoot the bomb, shoot the bomb.
Yeah, well, that probably wouldn't be a good idea to shoot the bomb.
Unless it hasn't been armed.
So imagine if in the middle of Star Wars, Luke Skywalker just said, I can't stay, I've got to go and save Biro. Who the hell's Biro? Yeah.
Yes. Oh,
He's
Brian's going
going
to get
down
involved, is he?
there.
Yes, now that it's safe.
Yes.
Now you can do a lot of glowering.
Oh, where that?
Now, I read the comic of this, and in that, Flash picked up the bomb and threw it like a football. Instead of just
Oh, in the
pushing
comic
a
of
button.
this movie.
Yes, it was made into a comic. And it actually took a lot of the tongue-in-cheek humour out and did it all straight.
Because in the original, he'd have to have got to use a polo mallet or something, wouldn't he?
Well, this was a comic strip based on the film.
Yes, I understand that.
But done in the style of the original. Took all the dirty bits out, too.
No,
So it was only about a page
very
and a half.
Go, Flash, go.
Go, Flash, go.
That's
There we go.
Biro.
There's
That's
Biro,
Biro,
is it?
the
Good old
injured guy.
Biro.
Just a flesh wound.
Save Biro.
Yep.
I can't rescue Han, I'm going to go and save Biro.
Yeah, you got to give Flash something to do.
Yeah, but they just could have had a line introducing him or something, seeing as we're supposed to care if he
My
gets
name's
killed.
Biro.
Hi.
Hello. If I'm ever in trouble, you come and save me.
That's right.
Blow it, Flash. Thank you. I'm glad you said that. I didn't know what to do.
Yep.
Now we're storming.
Yes, let's go.
Storming the Winter Palace. Look at that. Yeah, the film couldn't have been made if Star Wars hadn't been made first, could it?
No, well, that was the impetus for making
And it was
this
an
film.
attempt to cash in on, which didn't really work.
Well, it
They
was,
even released them at the same time.
apparently it did all right in the UK and in Europe,
Yep.
but it certainly died in the US.
But if Empire had come out at the same time, this was really no comparison. I think that was the biggest problem. It was a different film, but it was people expected it to be the same.
That's right. It's more in the 30s pre-Star Wars sort
Oh,
of
look at
filmmaking.
Biro. Oh, that's not very nice.
Oh, now we're getting to know who Biro is.
Yeah, Biro's the psycho with the big knife.
Yes, if you'd have done that before, then I would have cared.
Look at the. Do you like the black
Oh my
statues
God, we're
of
losing
Ming?
the nice guy.
The chocolate statues of Ming.
They knocked up a nice poster for her, though.
You notice she's not smiling. You notice that?
Did she get to take that home when she leaves?
This reminds me of Princess Diana's wedding. Look how happy the bride is.
Yeah, look how that turned out.
Who I see? Who's that lady over there?
I, Dale, marry the merciless Ming.
Mrs. Batman.
It can be the same problem, isn't it?
Ming
this
merciless. The
It must be his legal name.
Hey, you pick that up.
Ming the Merciless.
Yeah.
Yes,
These is middle name.
yes. You never mess with anyone who's got the
Well,
for
have
a
you ever
middle
seen
name.
all Queen Victoria's names? It took half an hour to write.
Now, who did that? Did they do that as a bit of irony?
That was
or-
one of their supporters. That shows that Ming was right. It's working. There's just discontent everywhere.
Right, I'm
I
not
love
going to
this.
free you. I'm just
Oh,
gonna
good. He shot the
save
other
you.
guy first.
Missed that wonderful line there that Dalton does about Houdini.
He was.
Oh, good. They shot Zarkov first. And he tries to get it on now. I think he's... First of all, he turns into an absolute psycho now. And second of all, he tries to get it on while they're escaping. She says, not now, Baron. Look at him. He's got a gun. He's got a chick. This is as good as it gets.
Yep, you got it all.
If
on the
only I
palm of
could
your
play
hands
a
now,
role
mate.
where I got to do this all the time.
Not now.
Now,
God's sake,
put your
Baron.
tongue back in your face.
Got a headache.
back in your pants, Baron.
Yes, and only Zarkov could get excited about a prime number.
Yes, it was like that line though. I was Zarkov going, yes, and I haven't changed.
Yes, unfortunately. I never saw him smile in the comic, Zarkov. He was always working and he never had any fun.
That's right. Yeah,
Now we can get down to some really serious shouting.
that's right.
Yeah. Well,
How about some really serious-
He would call that normal speaking. You
How
know?
about some really serious fire control while we're on the bridge?
Some serious whispering. I'm trying to tune it into Bay FM.
Right, we've got 3 minutes before
Oh, okay, well,
before the moon hits
by
the
the
earth.
time you finish telling him, it'll be over.
How do you know that's how long
It's so easy. That's why we haven't revolted in 100 years.
So is that a really strong king tide we got when the moon missed us by 20 seconds? Or quick, everyone duck.
I don't think it pays to look too closely. It just turned around and went back up into
Whoosh!
space.
Wow, that was close. Took
A
the tops out of all
strange
those gum
phenomenon.
trees, but other than that, we're all right.
Now, how many Queen fans do you think have had this at their wedding?
Brian May doing the wedding dance.
He's probably available to do it these days. He doesn't do much.
Probably.
Yes, obviously Dale's had
for a
something
plate of
put into
food.
the wedding.
If you're wearing black to your own wedding, I think that says something, doesn't it? And Nora's wearing white.
Yes.
They're
obviously
very
different
inappropriate.
customs.
They wanted them to cut that joke out with the sign.
Well,
On
she's a
pain
ball
of death.
thrower.
Yeah. Ruin the realism of the film. So.
That's right. Lowers the tone.
Out of why has he got the German accent?
Yeah, for some reason, we're not going to investigate.
Yeah, I don't know why. Don't ask me these sort of questions.
That's right, my technician.
This is her finest hour.
How very
Like a
Jedi.
security chief to you?
Are they using the right codes? They are, but it's an older one.
Well, then they're not using the right code.
It's all right. It's only the maximum security.
Oh, there can't be that many.
There we go. The lightning field.
That many codes when it's your approach. I mean, there's only so many ways that you can approach a landing pad. Isn't there?
Oh, that's what they do.
Are they coming straight down the middle? Yes. Oh, that's right.
What day is it? Here we go. Gee, what do you think Ming's going to do on his wedding night? Here's a hint. Look at
Well, he's still winning.
this. Hey, my baby. She's thinking about
Oh,
it.
God, this is going to hurt.
They don't build them like they used to, do they? I'll carry you. I don't think so, mate.
I've got to pilot this in. I've done flying lessons, you know.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone's got to stay at the wheel.
Did you do landings? Shut up.
That's the second person.
Isn't it a bit insulting? I'm good at the crashing part. I've already done that. Before she blows.
I've done this once before on this film. I can handle this part.
I landed on William Hookins. You loony bird.
You're going to put
Go
down
and
the
have a
landing gear or the
cracker.
what?
Polly want a cracker. Yeah, me too.
Change your paper later.
Now they're shaking hands. See?
Give him a box of Trill and tell
Yes.
him to go away.
Tell Dale would have been good, especially for her. Yeah, and the women too.
Well, of course, Voltaire saw him shake hands with Timothy Dalton, so he's worked it all out.
So he's a good egg, really.
Oh, thank you.
Most birds are.
Most birds are. Loony old birds. He hasn't wanted to fight all these years, and now in one afternoon they come up with an attack plan.
You know what? Change my mind.
Is
Let's
that
go
all?
home.
Into the valley of death.
Yes.
Poor bugger, getting shot in the middle of
Quite
Voltaire's
havoc.
big
Here we go.
speech.
What a great line. Freeze, you bloody bastards. He just goes totally gung-ho, isn't
Oh, this big flame thing from her.
Oh, yeah, that's
he?
a-
second.
And the agents. The agents.
I bet it only works once, though. Eh?
Here we go.
No.
Great moment.
This, to me, is a design flaw.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I don't think that's meant to happen.
No.
No,
Whatever you do, don't
but-
rip an image off. And that's why he learned.
Well,
Should have been more of that flame. Great stuff.
and it's the Wicked West of the Witch.
Yeah.
Wicked
Yeah,
Witch
one of
West,
them too, yeah.
Flying monkeys. Oh, no, flying birds.
No, they were bad guys.
As opposed to the
And Zarkov is Toto.
walking birds.
Yes.
Opposed to the emus.
There you go. No wonder they wanted to play James Bond.
Yeah, it's good at shit and stuff.
Wreaks tail of havoc everywhere he goes. Even the door, he doesn't even open the door properly. Look.
No, I'm always amazed at the doors in this ship. Every time you shoot them, they open. It must be a safety feature.
Yes. If all else fails, blast. Excuse me. Even the sound's the same.
Slop.
Here we go. You do a bit more of a massacre. It's like a Tarantino film.
That's right. High death count.
Oh,
Yes, damn.
now. I'll just push buttons at random.
Randomly, yeah.
Hello, I'm still here. And then he sees a bigger gun and he must have it.
Yes.
There you go. There he did it again.
Yep. Open up.
Oh, dearie me.
He kept standing
Only a
there.
pussy wants to stand.
No one kicks a stand, though.
Take that. He's going to be. Well, no wonder they say he's a great successor to Ming, isn't it? The happiest day of my life. But she promised she'd be a good wife.
Well, probably will be the happiest day of her life from this point on.
And that is Philip Stone, the great Kubrick actor. Oh, you better believe it. Let me count the ways.
So I've already got a list. Here you go.
But what a great fairy tale ending that it ends at the wedding. You know, he has to crash into the wedding.
So one of those Queen fans that are using this music are trying to get these vows happening too.
I'm
I've
sure
got some
there are
vows here,
people
love.
who get married in full costume. Oh, look, good. Put your hand over your head. That'll make it.
Yeah, that's right. That fire's getting out of control.
It's
I
King of the
reckon.
Impossible.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's passed out from
They just got to remind you of it at this point.
Yes.
smoke inhalation or
just in case you think some of the plot points are getting dodgy, no, he's king of the impossible. It all makes sense.
The ring.
Shouldn't the best man have the ring?
Yeah,
think the best
the
man
best
probably-
man's lying on.
Best
Hawk
man got
Planet.
killed, didn't he?
Yes, he had the ring.
Now, that wouldn't be as good as his ring.
No, that's right. It's just a chisel.
I can't wait to go to Tony's wedding. First of all, Philip Hinchcliffe will be there. Freddie, I'm just going to shoot everybody at random now. I don't like the way you look.
Yeah, you only had one chance.
That's all over.
The poor bugger, he was trying to turn the field off and he gets shot for his trouble. Turn
And
the
they-
field off. Okay, and then he shoots him.
Blam, that's right.
And this is, they didn't know how to win. They came up with this during the film, what way to end Ming, and they came up with this rather phallic imagery here.
Yeah, it's
For a
getting
man
run
who
through
needs a
with
love
mosquito.
potion before he gets it on. Gordon Flash. Gordon Tallis.
Gordon Flash?
Run, Ming, run.
Ooh, Flash, Gordon.
Dale's good at running away when there's work to be done, isn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
Here we go, Ming.
Here we go.
Cop
Oh, nice shot.
that.
Sir.
There you go.
That'd hurt.
And I hope it hurt.
I don't care
I'm
what
sure it
universe
did.
you're in, that would hurt.
Yeah.
What an
Good thing the
ignoble
ship
end.
just suddenly stopped, eh?
Yeah, it would have got worse as it went on.
Ming stopped it. Ming's like a shock absorber. And the long-touted sword fight is about to begin and end. And he's got snot for blood.
Clomp.
Oh.
Oh, that's better.
Missed every vital organ. You're going to fight, you've got 16 seconds.
That's right. Make it a good one.
I can't. The machines were over there.
I'll get my hypno ring onto you.
My life is not for any human to give or take. So they're already preparing for a sequel.
Yeah, sequel baiting.
In fact, Mike Hodges was there to do the sequel.
That's right, yeah. Nicholas Rogue was
Nicholas
supposed to do
Rogue said, I'm sick that weekend or something. I
That's
can't
right,
possibly
I'm
direct
washing my hair.
because he'd already made his sci-fi film with David Bowie.
Yes.
Yes, I'm washing my hair. Ming probably said that as well. And his ring's got a big bit of snot on it. Did you see this? Look, big
Temporal
gob
adjustment.
look at a big gob of phlegm on it. Just in time. If he'd had a longer sentence,
That's right. If you could have just hauled him off for a bit longer.
I've run out of things to blow up. I'm bored.
Everyone's dead, except for you and me.
Come here.
And the final symbol is the globe has changed sides.
Yes, it's now become the narrator.
Hey?
It's the narrator.
Have a nice day. There we go. Yeah, and I do love the panto ending there.
Yes.
Flash, your planet is doomed.
The whole cast comes and
No one
stands
was there
out.
to stop it.
Baron, well, this is how a lot of Shakespeare plays end with
All we
this,
need is Peter Wingard and
the new king. And
standing
he's
out.
already using the royal we, I notice.
Yes. He's got this worked out.
I wouldn't say that if I wanted to be the king. We appoint Voltaire general of our armies, now that we don't need them.
That's right. Yeah, just walks in and just takes over.
Well, if nothing else, the film, they discovered a movie star there, didn't they? Because he can handle that role really well. And Zarkov gets to talk after about 20 minutes.
Yes. Yes, so Topple must think this is a really tightly plotted film.
Yes,
with
he
a lot
didn't get to sing.
because everything that he's involved in is plot.
He just is the boring bits. And here we go.
Oh, it's all plot.
What
Better
better way
roof
to
to
end?
jump up on top of.
What better way to end? Hawkman writing in English.
Oh, that's right. Thanks, Flash.
What does that say? It says bottom.
Thanks, Flush. Flash.
Mrs. Peabody, have a good time. Mrs.
Bottom.
Timebody, have a good. Never mind.
Foot.
Yes. Obviously, some time has taken past.
But-
We've been able to rehearse this.
In the dying moment,
Dun, dun,
Sequel
dun.
baiting.
somebody takes the phlegm ring. A lot of people I thought they thought it was Dale because it's a black glove.
Oh, she's become the evil queen.
Oh, now we've got to come back next year and see.
That's
the
right.
sequel.
No.
Flash Gordon conquers the universe.
Well, next one was on Mars.
The
That's
Monkey
right.
Men.
Queen Allura and the Mudmen. Well, I'll say what Jeff always says at that point. Well, that was Flash Gordon.
That
What,
was.
even in films that aren't Flash Gordon? Or?
Yeah, well, we had to talk to him about that. And
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right. Now is his chance to say it and be on deck. And
I
he's-
thought that
he's
was
not
funny
evil.
during Star Wars when he said that.
I did. Sorry, Jeff.
Well, what an excellent film.
I tell you what,
There you go.
you didn't ever get that film mixed up with any other film
No.
you saw. That's for
No,
sure.
No. Now, people say it's it's rubbish and it's awful and it's
Certainly
camp,
got a
but-
bad rep.
Lacks a certain credibility at
Yes.
times.
But it's meant to be all those
And it's
things.
all about going to. It's a film that it was fun. It was a fun movie. It
Yeah.
was about fun.
popcorn film.
And
Popcorn.
it was one of the last films I went to see at the movies where people clapped at the end. Mm-hmm. And it was an experience. It wasn't nuance and character development. And
It's just a fun movie.
yes, it was a lot of fun.
And now they're talking about a remake.
Yeah, I've heard that.
goodness me.
Stephen Summers is also.
Yeah,
They'd have to find another bad actor to play Flash. They'd have to find
Oh,
another Swedish actor to play the Oriental
Probably
character.
that around.
But he won't be Oriental now.
I bet Topol would go back and
that's
play
right.
Zarkov again.
Way too politically incorrect to have an Asian playing.
An Asian.
No, you'd have to find a
Asian
Pom.
thing in Asian
You just get
these
another
days.
Pom in.
They'll probably make him white, absolutely white, so they can't offend anyone.
That's right. Except white
Oh,
people.
that'll
Make
make
it white
him.
people.
He'll be blue or green or something.
Blue or
Make
green.
him blue or green. Yeah.
I'll get Sam Jackson to play
But even,
Clyde.
then, but even then, he had to be absolutely white, so he didn't have the features
That's right.
of a foreigner. Because then they say, "Oh,
That's
you've
right.
just painted a
He'd
black
just be a
man. You've just
statue
painted a
that-
black man blue."
There could be a statue that talks. Dad, did you see Richard O'Brien there at the end in the last scene? Snuck back in while all the fighting was over.
Yeah, the old green people didn't have much to do in the final battle. Did they? It's like, come on, fellas, we're going off to die for the emperor. No, she's right, Prince.
We'll stay here and stick our
Our
hand
boss will
out.
take care
Yeah,
of it
that-
for us,
yeah.
and we'll just turn up and have all the food. Yeah.
That's right.
Oi.
Later on, just make sure when you take over.
Special movement. That would be for a Zarkov.
You know, I'm doing well when all the women that they got for the slave girls not only have one name.
I know. It makes me wonder what film profession a lot of them came from. That was the beauty of the film, you know. Frigid Girl. Oh, I mean Phrygian Girl.
Yeah, which one was that?
Not too many of them in that film. Ming's bedchamber was played by Raquel.
I bet it was.
There's Kenny Baker.
Said that should be dwarves.
Ming's Brutes.
Yes. Ming's potion preparer. Pfizer. Well, boys and girls, we were delighted to bring
Yes.
you this commentary on what we think is a wonderful, fun, what I call the best, worst film ever made. We think it's outstanding.
Yes.
Yes, excellent
Yes.
stuff.
But
See
if
ya.
we were in it, would we
Huzzah.
tell you?
Aye.
Absolutely not. And as Brian Blessed would say,
Bring on Flash Gordon 2.
and as Sam Jones would say, well, nothing because they dubbed his
They
voice.
dubbed it.
That's
yes.
right.
We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Oh.